All right, today we are diving deep into one of the most fundamental questions about our own biology. We're going to be using some fascinating research as our guide to figure this all out. It's a question I'm sure we've all thought about at some point. Is it just bad luck? Or is there something else going on? Some deeper biological clock that's ticking away, making us more vulnerable as we get older? Well, the answer is actually right inside of us. It's all about our immune system, that incredibly complex and powerful defense network we all have. You can think of it like your own personal army, always on guard. But here's the thing about armies. They don't stay the same forever. They change. Okay, so to really get a grip on this, we've got to start with the basics. What happens to our immune defenses as they age? It's a universal process. Happens to all of us. The fancy scientific term for this is immunosenescence. Yeah, it's a mouthful, but it's so important. Because get this natural aging process happening inside our immune system, it's the single greatest risk factor for most of the chronic diseases out there. That's huge. So what's actually going wrong here? Well, one of the main culprits is something you can think of as a slow-burning fire inside our bodies. A fire that never quite goes out. And scientists have a pretty clever name for it, inflammaging. Inflammaging, it's pretty much what it sounds like, right? Inflammation plus aging. It means your body is stuck in this constant low-grade state of alarm. Imagine a smoke detector that just won't stop chirping. It's not a 5-alarm fire, but that persistent, annoying noise, that irritation spread across your entire system eventually wears everything down. And this constant inflammation, it's not just random. No, it's being fueled by a few key things. You've got our cellular power plants, the mitochondria, starting to sputter. You've got chronic infections humming along in the background. But one of the absolute biggest drivers is something called cellular senescence. Now, remember that term because we're going to circle right back to it in a second. It's a big one. So this biological static, this constant background noise of inflammation, it's way more than just a minor annoyance. It's a powerful force that's actively pushing our bodies towards some of the diseases we worry about most as we get older. Things like type 2 diabetes, Alzheimer's, and yes, even certain cancers. All right, remember I told you to hold that thought about cellular senescence? Well, we're back, and this is where the story gets really wild. Seriously, get ready for the attack of the zombie cells. So what on earth is a zombie cell? Well, cellular senescence is basically when a cell gets old or damaged and it's supposed to die, but it doesn't. It just stops dividing and hangs around. A zombie. And not only is it not doing its job anymore, it's actually making things worse for all the healthy cells around it. So how does this zombie takeover happen? Well, it starts with a normal, healthy cell. It gets stressed or damaged and boom, it turns senescent. It becomes a zombie. Then the zombie cells start spewing out this toxic mix of inflammatory signals. Now, when you're young, your immune system is like an elite cleanup crew. It finds these zombies and gets rid of them, no problem. But as our immune system gets older, it gets, well, a little slow on the job. It starts missing them. And so the zombies and all their toxic gunk start to build up, causing even more inflammation and hurting healthy tissue nearby. And believe me, this isn't just some tiny microscopic drama. This buildup of zombie cells has real, tangible consequences. It's directly linked to things we can see and feel, like frailty, painful osteoarthritis, and just that general loss of physical get up and go that can happen as we age. Okay, let's pull back from the cellular level for a minute and look at the big picture. What are the real-world consequences of all this? I'll warn you, the numbers here are pretty stark. Let's just take a very recent and very painful example. With COVID-19, a truly staggering 80% of the deaths in the United States were in people over 65. 80%. That is a direct and frankly tragic consequence of an aging immune system. And it's not just about new, scary viruses. Think about something more common, like bacterial pneumonia. If you're over 65, your risk is more than 4 times higher than it is for someone younger than 45. 4 times. This isn't just a local issue either, it's a global one. Just look at the seasonal flu. Worldwide, it causes up to 500,000 deaths a year. And guess what? 2/3 of those deaths are in people over the age of 65. And if you look at this chart, you can really see what we're talking about. When it comes to hospitalization for pneumonia, the difference between younger and older adults isn't a gentle slope, it's a cliff. And here's where it becomes a really vicious cycle, like a double-edged sword. Not only are older adults more likely to get sick in the first place, but our number one tool for preventing sickness, vaccines, they just don't work as well. The aging immune system just can't mount the same strong protective response.
Okay, I know this has all sounded a bit doom and gloom so far, but this is where the story takes a turn, because this is where the science gets incredibly exciting. Researchers aren't just sitting back and watching this happen. No, they are actively developing strategies to fight back, to actually rejuvenate our immune systems. Right now, the attack is happening on three main fronts. First up, we've got smarter vaccines. These are being designed with special boosters or higher doses specifically to wake up an older immune system. Second, scientists are looking at metabolism-altering drugs, things like metformin, that might improve our overall cell health and give our immune function a lift as a side effect. And then there's the third, and this one is straight out of science fiction, senolytics, a whole new class of drugs whose only job is to hunt down and destroy those zombie cells.
And all of this work is pointing towards a truly revolutionary new idea in medicine called the geroscience hypothesis. The thinking here is just profound. It goes like this. Instead of playing whack-a-mole, treating diabetes here, heart disease there, Alzheimer's over here, what if we could go after the one thing they all have in common? What if we could treat the root cause, the aging process itself?
Which leaves us with a huge final question to think about. If we can tackle this inflammaging, if we can clear out these zombie cells, are we standing on the brink of a totally new kind of medicine? An era where treating aging isn't about looking younger, but about preventing that whole wave of chronic disease that we've always just accepted as part of getting older. Could targeting aging itself be the ultimate preventative medicine?